It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Wednesday Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. On this, the 17th day of January 2024, coming to you from a frigid Bedford County, Virginia. I'm not sure we got to 11 last night, but when I got up this morning, it was 13. So it got close to 11. That's cold for here. And we got another night of it tonight, and then maybe a couple nights off. And this weekend's supposed to be down to 10. So I got to get out of here and get on a boat soon. I haven't heard a word from Hot Air Tom yet this morning. I was hoping maybe to hear something. I know he had to be at the hospital at dark 30 today. And so I was hoping to hear something. You know, he's having a kidney stone blasted apart or whatever you call those things. But anyway, I haven't heard anything yet. So our thoughts, of course, are with Hot Air Tom. I had one of our new folks ask me offline where I ever came up with the nickname Hot Air Tom. And some of you will remember this, of course. He first did a live stream on this channel from a hot air balloon. And then later on, he did a live stream from parasailing. Yeah, parasailing. And then we've seen him jump into off of cliffs. We've seen him dive into caves. He's done all kinds of craziness, that we've used on this channel. So we came up with a nickname for Hot Air Tom. So, and I think that's all anybody calls him anymore. So anyway, my thoughts have been with him all morning this morning. It's not a pleasant procedure he's going through. All right, folks, got a couple stories today. Again, there's not a great deal of news in the headlines, but the Red Sea tensions force 3 more cancellations. Holland America is the first cruise line to raise gratuities in 2024. Winter weather in southern Homeports is kind of keeping things a little uneasy. Harmony of the Seas rescue yesterday. Itinerary change for NCL Escape and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is National Hot Buttered Rum Day. It's a perfect day for that, as our high temperature today is not going to get above freezing. Now, I'm not in Minnesota like Nanook of the North John. Of course, they're in the deep freeze up there. Their high yesterday was only going to be 0. But be a good day for some hot buttered rum. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net. Or wherever you get your podcast from, just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. All right, I mentioned yesterday that I talked to Elizabeth, and she was in Balneario Cumburio, and I'm sure I'm still slaughtering that, Brazil, which kind of took her by surprise. And she had sent me some stuff that I had not transferred from phone to computer, etc. So anyway, here's the lovely Elizabeth on location.
Hola, Chillie and the gang. I am here in beautiful Brazil, and we're walking along the beach on the main street. I'm here with my friend who's a shore excursions manager. And tell us where we are exactly.
We are at Balneario Cumburio.
See there? He knows what it is because he is the shore excursions manager extraordinaire. Anyway, we're in this beautiful, beautiful place. I had no idea until I talked to Chillie this morning where we even were, and that, anyway, it's just massive. Look at this huge, beautiful city. Anyway, our ship is way over there. There's the ship, and I'll point with my beer because that's what you do. Anyway, it's lovely. We're going to be in Rio in a few days, but in the meantime, we'll be in a couple of other Brazilian ports, and I will give you some further information. Anyway, I haven't watched the show in ages. I'm on the ship now until the beginning of March because I got extended. So anyway, there's the flag. It's a beautiful day, and our ship is here in port until about 5 o'clock this afternoon, and we're going to go have lunch, and we'll check in with you later. Ciao for now.
And that's a flower from Balneario Camarillo. Maybe I'll learn to say that before it's over with. And they do have scooters. I know that's in the shadows. It doesn't show very well, but that's actually a scooter. So it's a city that I could get around in. Balneario Camarillo on the coast of Brazil. So that's Elizabeth on location. I meant to look up the ship she's going to. She's leaving Oceana Marina. She's on the 5th of March. I think she's got a month off. I can't remember which one of their ships she's going to. I'll look that up, I promise. I've said that about 4 times now. Think I've done it? No. All right, the top story today, folks. Comes from our friends at MSC. Due to the rising security concerns in the Red Sea, MSC Cruises have canceled 3 Grand Voyages scheduled for April. Each of the 3 itineraries were set to navigate through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. The affected cruises are MSC Splendida, 27-night sailing that was set to depart South Africa on April the 3rd and end up in Genoa, Italy. The MSC Opera, 20-night sailing that was to depart Dubai on April 21st and end up in Genoa. And the MSC Virtuosa, a 23-night sailing from Dubai to Southampton. The 3 cruise ships that were impacted by this decision will sail to Europe without any passengers on board and without stopping at any ports along the way. These ships will sail the western route around Africa and be ready for the summer cruise season from Southampton or other ports. All right. I'll be back with a couple more stories. Again, not a great deal of news, but a couple more stories. After a quick word from one of our network sponsors. And the next story today, folks, comes from Holland America, the first cruise line to raise its gratuities in 2024. Rolling out in February, the automatic gratuity rate for crew members will increase from $16 a day to $17 a day in standard cabins. That's a 6% increase. Suite guests will now see an 8.6 increase from $17.50 per day to $19 per day. I wonder how long it's going to take all the other cruise lines to catch up with Holland America. Something tells me that's coming real soon. All right, I complained about the weather here in Virginia. Well, I'm not the only one that's cold. How about the folks down in our southern home ports, Galveston and New Orleans? Man, guests traveling out of either one of those places will need to be aware of the potential impact icy weather could have on port operations, local traffic, and travel conditions. Both of those ports, a lot of people drive to them, folks. So you get into bad weather coming in there, a chance of icy road conditions and the like, it can wreak havoc with the people trying to drive to the ports, just like it does when people trying to fly to those ports. I mean, yesterday, if people were sailing yesterday and flew in on the day of the cruise, I'm sure a number of people missed their cruises. While cruises thus far are operating normally in both Galveston and New Orleans, both ports have already seen the effects of plummeting temperatures and unusually harsh winter weather for their southern locations. All right, the next story today, folks, comes from Royal Caribbean, Harmony of the Seas. My friend that's normally on Harmony of the Seas is on her month off and is back home in England. But this was a rescue attempt yesterday by the folks from Harmony of the Seas. They helped rescue 6 fishermen and their dog while the cruise ship was en route to its first port of call on the current 7-day Western Caribbean sailing. The stunning rescue comes nearly 2 days after the fishing boat had been reported lost. The small vessel, Aris, experienced an engine failure with 6 people reported on board. Communication with the vessel was initially lost on Sunday, about 20 miles from Cape Catoche, the northernmost tip of the Yucatan Peninsula. Upon spotting the vessel, Harmony of the Seas immediately sent out a rescue craft to check on the smaller boat and found 7 castaways in reasonably good health, 6 fishermen and their dog, Canelo. All the individuals, including Canelo, were safely rescued and soon transferred to the Mexican Navy. The fishermen and Canelo were returned home to Cozumel. So, congratulations to the folks on Harmony for the stunning rescue. And of course, to the guys that got rescued that are now back home, safe and sound. All right, January 27th, sailing on the Norwegian Escape. I just got off the Norwegian Escape a couple of weeks ago. Has been totally changed due to port availability concerns. They come up with these little handy sayings, and I never know what to believe in that. But anyway, the Escape will first visit Great Stirrup Cay on the 28th. Then Falmouth, Jamaica on the 30th. It was supposed to go to Ocho Rios. So they changed that to Falmouth. Then to Grand Cayman on the 31st, Cozumel on February the 1st. 2 days at sea and back into Port Canaveral on the 3rd. So that basically, they flip-flopped the entire cruise for port concerns. Not sure what that means, but they just changed the cruise around. I mean, it's not going to affect people in any way. It's just doing things in a different order than they were expecting it. So, all right, that's it for the news portions of today. Let's go see who's fussing at me in the chat room. There's Mike. Hi, Mike. And Steve in Kentucky. Katie's here. Hi, Katie. Gretchen's here out in sound. Are you guys not hearing me? Joanne's with us in Newmarket, Virginia. Oh, Gretchen says, her phone was on too low. I'm about to have a stroke, Gretchen. Emily's with us. Good morning, Emily. By the way, folks, I did have to cancel out of my eye doctor appointment yesterday. I was going to go because we had a nice stretch of sunshine, even though it didn't get very warm. but it, like the driveway got fairly clear. So I was dressed and ready to go. And my brother-in-law came in and said that outside my garage door, there's a little slope that stays shaded. And he said, that's a solid sheet of ice. And I said, I could just see my going out there in my chair and hitting ice and having no idea what happens to a power wheelchair on ice. I've never done that. And I don't want to start out, but I could just picture myself hitting the ice and sliding with no control right into the front of my sister and brother-in-law's car in the chair, which would throw me out of the chair onto the, yeah, no. I called up the eye doctor and I said, can't get there. So I'm going next Tuesday instead. Mike says, yesterday I deleted my message about WhatsApp being a phone app when I found that there are Windows and Mac desktop apps. I didn't realize that deleting the message wouldn't remove the post from your feed. Well, Mike, that's was my thinking on it because I've tried it, but I'm still having trouble actually getting it to accept me. I mean, I do fine on my phone, but it should take the same thing that the phone takes. So I still haven't worked. Of course, I'm not the most technically oriented person. You guys all know that. But yeah, I'm still working on that. Cindy says, great to hear from Elizabeth. We miss her. Oh, I miss her terribly. Although at least I've been able to talk to her now on WhatsApp. She hasn't been able to use her Wi-Fi on the ship because it sucks. But on WhatsApp, we've been able to talk and sit there and look at each other several times. So I've been able to keep up with her here the last couple weeks, much better than I have for the last couple months. Gretchen says, plumber here today, probably going to replace the hot water heater. Don't mention plumbers to me, Gretchen. I gave Amanda the check just a little while ago to take for the down payment to the plumber for the new line. And Emily says, I'd be pointing you with my drink too. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Oh, she did say, it was 10 o'clock in the morning, and she said, I'm hot and sweating. She was already on her second beer. Elizabeth talks a good game, but I've been with her a lot of times. She doesn't drink that much. So, of course, she eats a lot healthier than I do. She constantly fusses about me about what I'm eating. Of course, she's vegan, legitimately vegan. But we still manage to, we go out to dinner or to lunch all the time. She finds stuff that she can eat. I find stuff that I can eat. She claims one of these days she's going to get me and cook a meal for me one of the times when we get together. That hasn't happened yet, but I'll try it. I mean, I'll try anything. So, Gretchen says she knows the feeling. There's hot air, Tom. Procedure has finished and back home. Everything went well. Just groggy from recovery from the anesthesia. Well, hot air, Tom, I'm glad to hear from you. I have been thinking about you all morning. And, oh, good. Glad you're back home. Tell Cindy to put the frying pan up for today. She can chase you with the frying pan tomorrow, but just enough for today. Just sit back and take it easy and rest the southern part of your body. Gretchen says, congratulations, Tom. Hope you feel 100% in no time. That's awesome, says Emily. There's Kenneth. Hi, Kenneth. Hope everybody's nice and warm. I don't mind telling you, in my little corner of the world, I'm in the part of our house that was built in 1903. The original house was 3 rooms. My bedroom, which I call the cave, is one of the 3 rooms that sits right on the windy corner of the house. So cold weather and wind hits my corner of the house, and underneath my floor is open air. I mean, there's no basement, there's no foundation. It's on like, you know, 18 inches of rock that the house sits on. And there's a crawl space, but it's not crawl space that a human can get in. But that's open air. So my floor, which my floor is wooden, the old fashioned wooden floors, it gets damn cold. So despite what we have the thermostat on in the house, I've got an electric heater in here in the cave, which ran all night, I'll tell you that. So I was pretty toasty. I've turned it off this morning because it's starting to, up to about 20 now, the last time I looked. But yeah, my little corner of the world gets pretty breezy. Emily says, get some rest, Tom. Happy for you, Tom. Now you can get back to cruising. Chillie, the real question is how long will it take the other cruise lines to catch the service charge to NCL, which is 20 and 25? Yeah, I realize that, but this was the first one of the year. I have a feeling everybody's going to come bouncing along behind Holland America now to give the first raise of 24. I mean, I realize the standpoint that, it keeps costing us more to cruise. That's one thing I just don't mind. I don't mind the guys that do all the work for us and make cruising what it is. I don't mind that they make a little more money. I mean, if it wasn't for them and it wasn't for me being able to cruise, I'd probably be dead or close to it. So yeah, give them a little more. I don't care. I'm never going to fuss about that. I'm still going to give my extra, a little bit to the ones that have done extra for me during the course of a cruise. Always my room steward. Because I realize I'm a load for them. I mean, I've got all kinds of crap in my room that they got to clean around and stuff. All my meds out and, everything. And then always, because I'm main dining room most of the time, my waiter in the main dining room, and usually 2, a waiter and assistant waiter, and usually a couple bartenders that have been, just exceptionally enjoyable during the course of a cruise. I always stop by with a little something. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot, $5, $10. Obviously, my room steward gets a little more than that. The main waiter gets a little more than that. But yeah, I mean, but I take a little extra money with me every cruise just for those purposes. And I'll never complain about the automatic gratuities. And so some of the people that I don't see get it. They're still doing things to keep me happy on a cruise, even if I don't see them. The guys that wash the windows, the people down in the laundry room. Doesn't have to be somebody that deals with the public. I mean, they're still working on that ship too. So I just don't care about that. I'll pay it. Be happy. Kenneth says, I hear you loud and clear. Emily says, I hear you. Yeah, I know. That was Gretchen trying to screw with me. No, she had her phone down. There's Gary. Hi, Gary. Gary older than dirt's with us. Beautiful day here in Florida. Ugh. Wish I was down there. I got, what's today? Today's the 17th, so I'll leave in 9 days. I'll be on the boat in 11 days. Can't wait. I'm ready to cruise again. I've been home since, the 20th of December? So I've been home a month. I'm ready to go. Let's see. Gretchen says she was almost on mute. Yeah, that's how you are, Gretchen. You don't want to hear what I have to say, so you just mute me. It's pretty simple. Hot Air says could have made a good promo video for the chair. Add snow chains and have a snow chair video. Yeah, I've got to talk to some of my people. I've never asked them how these things operate in snow and ice, and I'm not sure I want to go out and try it. But I'll definitely ask some of the guys that have been around longer than I have. Now, a lot of like Sylvia's in Florida. She travels a lot, but I don't know if she's been of course, she's been to Alaska. Maybe she's been on ice and snow in a chair. I don't know. Yeah, it's worth finding out because, I mean, other than being cold yesterday, as it worked out, my appointment was at 4. A 2-hour appointment, it was going to be 6. At 6 o'clock last night, the temperature had already dropped to 25. So I could easily come out of the eye doctor and everything be a sheet of ice, and I'd have been in trouble. It was just as well that I didn't go. I can wait another week. So this week was low attendance week at WDW. Low queue times for the rides. Do you follow Walt Disney attendance figures all the time? Magic Kingdom reporting 20,000 daily visits, park max at 100%. I mean, I know you're a big WDW guy, Dennis. Yeah, you always just amaze me with stuff that you know, especially you're in Greece. You know stuff like people that would be actually right there in Walt Disney World. Cindy says Elizabeth started me on my Aperol, how do you say that? Obsession. Great memories of enjoying some time with Elizabeth at my favorite watering hole in Cozumel. Yep. Cindy and the hubster went with me and Elizabeth. We had lunch, and that was the cruise where we brought one of my friends was on the Meraviglia, and we texted her. She's a friend of Elizabeth's too. We texted her, and she and one of her friends came and joined us for shots. I didn't do shots, but I watched the girls do shots. Dennis says, Tom, and make it a daily goal to drink at least 3 liters of water. Yeah, you can see what's left in, that's number 2 of the big ass water jugs this morning. So I've got one more to go, and that is over a liter, by the way. Also have a Diet Coke. Tom says, I love the heated blanket at the surgical center. It was a paper with channels that the heater blew air into, nice and warm. Get out. Dennis is on his second 32-ounce cup already. Oh, Tom Henry is on his second 32-ounce cup already. Good for you, Tom. I don't mind the increases, but what bothers me is the lack of accountability as to how the money is distributed. Yeah, I agree with that, but I would like to know that it's all getting to the right places. But still, assuming that it is, I don't mind paying it. Hot Air says, oh man, imagine the chair will just slide around the downhill, whichever way the slope is. And Chillie will be dizzy. Of course, Chillie's dizzy all the time. Katie says, I love Aperol Spritz. That was fun, Chillie. We also met up with her another time at Cozumel. Oh, sometime when I wasn't there. Uh-huh. Well, good for you. That's right. I remember that now. Dennis says, I don't follow Walt Disney WDW attendance figures, but it was mentioned in the stream this morning. I've been many times in January once I was able to ride Space Mountain over a dozen times. Wow. I'm not a big ride guy. So Gary Older Than Dirt says 11 days. I'm ready for cruise day. Man, Gary, I tell you what, you and me both. Katie, he's going to be with me on the Epic. She's on Icon the day before. Cindy's not the only one looking forward to your picks, Katie. You and Angela got to be on. Oh my God. What's Angela going to wear on the Icon? I promise you she'll have one outrageous gown. Outrageous. I love the pictures of Angela with some of her gowns. Oh my goodness. That was a dozen times in a row. Wow. I still had a light each time and race to the boarding area. I don't know. I've never been around. I'm a coward, Dennis. That's how I have trouble doing hobby horses. Bumper cars that's radical for me. Tilt-a-whirl. I used to do the tilt-a-whirl. That you were in a clamshell that spun around a little bit and up and down a few places. But a roller coaster, one time that was it, done. But I like water rides. I can do water rides. I can do drops and stuff in water. It doesn't bother me. But I panic in a roller coaster. And to get on a Ferris wheel, oh, no way in hell. Absolutely not. I'm a total coward. I admit it. A hobby horse, maybe. Kenneth says, you got to come on the Epic with us in March of 2025. We're going over to Rome. Yeah. That's going to be a good cruise. Matter of fact, I got to send them a check today, too. I'm paying money out like I have some. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I've enjoyed the show this morning. I really have. Enjoyed the nice crowd in the chat room. I appreciate each and every one of you guys all the time. I really do. You allow me to do what I love to do the most, and that's talk about and go on cruises. Yeah, I hope to be able to keep it up. I hope to be I'd love to come up with some kind of sponsorship deals. Yeah, that would be wonderful. So we'll see. Working on a couple things. I have no idea if they'll come through or not, but keep trying. One of these days it will. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. As always, thanks for being with me. Smash that thumbs up button. Don't forget to do that. If you haven't subscribed, please take this as my invitation to do so. It doesn't cost you a thing. Helps me out a bunch. And hopefully you'll be able to join us on a cruise one day. All right, guys, as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together, just like Gary Older Than Dirt and I are going to do in 11 days. You guys have a great day. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a good one.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie Cruises.